Hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of Struggle and Strength Moms Balancing It All with Nikki. Can you believe this is episode 45? We are almost to 1 year's worth of episodes. I am so excited, and today's episode marks a very special anniversary for me because around this time last year, I did something I had never done before. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I actually got on a plane, left my family at home, and took a leap of faith. I had never been away from my children more than like a night before, and I had never put myself first. But I decided that I was going to go to the It's Her Turn Summit hosted by Cathy Heller. It was my first ever live event and the first time I had done something absolutely, completely, 100% for me. Oh my goodness. Moms, do you feel me right now? Like, when do you ever do something for yourself? I mean, I don't go get my hair done. I don't go get my nails done. I don't do anything. Okay. I barely can go to the bathroom without somebody saying, Mom, Mommy, Mom. And looking back now, I can honestly say that weekend absolutely changed my life. And I remember debating whether or not to go, and I felt guilty. It's like every time that I had to ask my husband, can I do something for my business? I felt so guilty. It was like, I already know what he's going to say. I'm leaving him alone with the kids. He's going to have all the responsibilities. He's going to have to get them dressed for school, ready, make their lunches, take them to school, take them to all the activities. And what am I going for? Like, what is this for? Can you tell me what is this going to do for you? It's like it's not even worth the effort even asking. Can you give me a heck yeah, mamas? Like it's like every time that I want to do something for myself, I have to get permission and then you feel guilty. It's like the mom guilt comes in because you don't want to have to like you worry about, oh my gosh, are the kids going to be okay with their daddy when I leave them at home? Is he going to be able to find everything? Is he going to know where everything is? How are they going to even live without me for one day? Oh my goodness. And that mom guilt hit me so hard because of all of those doubts. Now, my husband is perfectly capable of taking care of the children. However, some of the times, okay, let's say most of the times, he acts like he has no idea how to do it. It's like, okay, my daughter is 10 years old now. I think you can find, how to do everything. For 1, 2 days, I think you will be fine. But something inside of me kept whispering to me, don't feel guilty. It's your turn, Nikki. This is for you. You have to go. Because before then, I was struggling. I had this inner pull that I wanted to start a business. I wanted to do something, but I was never putting myself first. I was always last on the list. I mean, like last even after the dog. Okay. Like I took care of the dog before I took care of myself. And I thought, you know what? It's my time. This is it. And what better to go than a It's Her Turn Summit? I mean, come on, it's screaming, it's for me. So I said yes. And the best part about it was that I got a free ticket. So the only thing I had to pay for was my hotel, my flight, and then, of course, like either a taxi or a car. Or I guess an Uber. At that point, I had never taken an Uber before that day. Actually, I didn't even take an Uber that time. I tried and it didn't work because I didn't know how to use the app. And so I ended up taking a taxi. But I booked the flight. I packed my bags. And the first time in forever, I did something without even overthinking it. I just said, I'm going. And the summit was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I don't know about you, but I work from home now. I'm in a little bubble. So I take the kids to school, I come home, I do my work, I do work on my business. I used to coach, so I was around kids, but I haven't really like interacted with women or people in a very, very, very long time. I mean, other than just kid activities and commenting on games, I don't really have a whole lot of girlfriends. And so this was very interesting for me. There are hundreds of women coming together to talk about their purpose, creativity, and possibility. And of course, podcasting, which is how I got started podcasting, by the way, because Cathy Heller was teaching people, not people, women, how to start podcasts and monetize them so that they could start making money for themselves. She's very big into women entrepreneurs and being independent and empowering us women. And so it was just amazing, but it was so different because of course I went there and I had a t-shirt for my business. I'm trying to market myself as well because that was the beginning stages of my digital marketing, funnel building, all of that, which I've now come to the conclusion with one of my customers the other day that I am called a business development coach. So I can do digital marketing, social media marketing, and funnel building, but also business development coaching because it's all of that combined for these beginner entrepreneurs. And let's just say this summit was a little overwhelming because, as I mentioned, I'm used to being solo by myself in my office. I mean, the dog is quiet as a mouse. It's just me in the house. And in the summertime, of course, there's the kids, but they go play upstairs. And then there's all these women. And it's like, oh my gosh, I grew up with 3 brothers. I don't really know how to act around women. And I don't really like the drama that goes along with it. But it was really nice because people would be like, oh, who are you? You know, what's your name? Where are you from? Is this your first time with Cathy? You know, blah, blah, blah. And it was very, what's the word? Accepting and exciting because I felt like for once I was in a room with women who were all there to support, promote, help, love on, like just a really good group of women who were there to help other women be empowered and succeed. And that was the first time that I had ever been in a event like that. And to top it off, Cathy has a really good friend named Christina Perri. And if you know Christina Perri, she sings 1,000 Years and also the Twilight theme songs from the movie, or not movie, but well, yeah, movie series, I guess it is, which happened a while ago, maybe like 10, 15 years ago, I think is when the first Twilights came out. And it was incredible. She gave us 3 solos that she did on stage with this, like pianist that came to help her. And holy cow, I have those recorded on my phone. I will not remove them. And I swear, every recital that I go to for my kids, some girl is singing that song. And every time it comes on, I start crying. Not because I'm saddened by the words of the song, but I'm empowered. And it reminds me of the day that I bet on myself, that I put myself first, that I took the stage in my own life and made it about me for once. And since that day, I have felt on top of the world. I started my podcast. I've been doing I pushed myself out of my comfort zone to do Facebook lives every night. I call them Pajama Talks with Nikki. My funnel building, digital marketing, business development coaching business has been booming. I mean, I'm so busy right now. I barely have time to work on myself, which is what I really want to do. But it's just all these opportunities opened up as soon as I started betting on myself. And before this point in time, I think I've told you many times before, but I always throughout my whole entire life felt like I've never been enough. I've never been valuable because I'm the only girl in a four child, three boy household. My father is a baby boomer, so they're still in kind of that age where, like my mom, when she was growing up, women couldn't do a lot of things. There's only certain things they could do. There's not a lot of women's rights. Growing up, my father was always like, "Well, you're just a girl," and it's like, okay, I get it, but I'm just as good as the boys. But I never felt like I was. I always felt like I was inferior. I always felt like I was not as smart. I always felt like I was never as successful as my brothers. And so, and then my mother, of course, was super hard on me, which I get it. She had high expectations. And of course, I'm thinking, maybe it's because of the way that she was brought up and she didn't have the opportunity to do things, and that she always told me the sky is the limit. Whatever you want to do, you can do as long as you put your mind to it. I've always had that mentality, and I kept that going with my own children, telling them you can do anything that you want to do and I will support you. I just want you to do it at 110%. I don't want you to half-ass anything. I want you to make sure that if you're going to do something, you're going to put all of yourself behind it, because there's no reason to do something if you're not going to do it in full. And so, this was the first moment that I started to think, maybe I do have value. Maybe I am worth something. And maybe I am smart. Maybe I am enough. And that song, I started bawling. Oh gosh, when I was in the event, I was just bawling because for the first time in my life, I realized I finally put myself first. Growing up, as I mentioned, I had three brothers. I was also a latchkey kid, and I had a younger brother who was 3 years younger than me. Both my parents worked. So, from the time that I was probably 8 years old, I was taking my brother to and from school. I mean, I had one bike. He would sit on the seat, and I would stand up and pedal the whole entire 2 miles to our house. He'd have the backpacks on his back. So, I put him first. I had to take care of my brother. Growing up, I always helped out my parents. If we were short on money or whatever, and I was working, all of my tip money I would give to my parents. I mean, I've always put everybody's else's, I don't know what to call it, needs, wants, whatever, before my own to this day. But that was the first time that I said, I'm doing this, and I'm doing it for myself. And I've made a promise from that day forward that I was going to stop asking for permission to start choosing myself. And something has changed after that weekend. I came home lighter, not because life was suddenly easier. Let's be honest. I have three children. They're all in activities, all in music. I was coaching soccer at the time, starting my business, working full time, doing the Girl Scout troop cookie manager. I mean, you name it, I did it. But because I had clarity and I chose to put myself first and find value in myself, my business started growing. People started seeing value in me as well. And it stems from that you can't, let me rephrase that. Nobody will find value in you if you don't value yourself. So, with my confidence coming back, and for the first time, I wasn't actually trying to prove my worth, I was actually living it. People started noticing. And because I valued myself, they valued me. And because I had the confidence, they saw that. And so that song, A Thousand Years by Christina Perri, it stops me in my tracks every single time. And I start tearing up for the mere fact that I finally feel valuable. I finally feel like I know who I am and that I chose me. And I know there are so many moms that are listening right now that are in the same place that I was. You're constantly showing up for everyone else but for yourself. You keep waiting for that perfect time to take the class, book the trip, start the business, or even just breathe. I remember when my daughter was born, there was no moment in my life that I have been by myself. Every time I had to shower, I had to put her right there. Every time I go to the bathroom, one of them comes in. Every time that it's just like I was going to record my podcast and I told the kids, go sort your clothes because they're outgrowing all their clothes. And they're like, Mommy, we don't know how to do that. So it's, it's like every time I always put everybody else first, attending to their needs, their wants. If we're at a restaurant and they're not full and they're still hungry, I give them my food because I'd rather me starve than them starve. That's just the way I am. But the truth is, there's never going to be a perfect time for you to bet on yourself. The laundry is always going to be there. The kids will still always need you. Life is never going to pause. Look at us. We are in November. We are 60 days away from the new year. This is insane. I swear to God. Last time I checked the calendar, it was August. Where did September and October go? You have to choose yourself in the middle of all the chaos. Because when you do, everything else around you is going to get better too. I'm telling you, when you start showing people that you have the confidence, they will see it. When you start putting yourself first, you're going to be the best version of yourself. You know, when you go on the airplane and they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you put it on the kids, that's what you need to do every single day. Put your needs first. Something that is non negotiable, that's going to set you in that realm of being in the moment, worthy and valuable and confident. Because when you do that, everything else around you is just going to be a powerhouse. But if you don't and you continue to run yourself into the ground, you're going to notice that everything else around you is that way too. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be messy. It's going to be not good. So here's my challenge for you this week. Do one thing, just one thing that's for you. Not for your kids, not for your spouse, not for your boss, for you. Take a walk. You could journal. Sign up for something that excites you. And if you ever feel guilty for putting yourself first, remember this. When you fill your own cup, you're not taking away from your family. You're teaching them what self-worth looks like. Because when mom rises up, everyone rises. So remember that. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are enough. You need to believe that in everything that you do. It's so funny because in my day job, one of our employees left and my boss, our CEO, doesn't really value that I am doing extra work now. And I'm trying to justify it to my husband and he's like, don't disvalue the things that you do. or devalue, not disvalue. And same thing when I was consulting with a fellow funnel builder, and I was explaining the situation to her as well, and she was like, "Stop right there. You are worth so much more than what you are giving yourself credit for. Don't even mention those words that it's just. Well, it's not just. You are valuable, you are smart, you are worth every penny." So if there's something in your life right now where you're debating, you're devaluing yourself, you're thinking, "Oh, it's no big deal. I'll just give away my time." I do it all the time. But you have to realize that you are valuable. Your time is money, and you need to take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Treat yourself. Dress I you know what I what ha you know what changed things too was that I used to wear the reason why I called it pajama talks. One was because I was doing it at night, and, the reason why was because everybody else was asleep. That's the only time I could have to myself because I had my 9 to 5 job, and then I was coaching, and then I was trying to do my other business. And so the only time that I could do my lives on Facebook was at nighttime. So I thought, okay, well, I'll be in my pajamas. And so I'll call it Pajama Talks with Nikki, which makes sense. But there was a time for a good probably 6 months to a year where I didn't get out of my pajamas. I would be so exhausted because I'm staying up till 3, 4 in the morning, waking up at 6:30 in the morning to get the kids ready for school, take them to school, make their lunches, all of that. And then I would just stay in my pajamas because A, they were comfy and I love comfy clothes. But B, because there's another thing. B, because I didn't want to do more laundry. And then C is because I was like, what's the difference? I don't need to be in anything else. Like, who cares? And the kids would come home from school and they'd be like, Mommy, are you still in your pajamas? Yeah, I am. Is that a problem? Well, it was actually. And I didn't realize it because that's laziness, And then that's also kind of not creating an environment for your mindset to shift that you are doing more valuable things than being in pajamas and, laying around. So I started making an effort to get ready every single day. And when I did that, I felt beautiful and I don't know, I started dressing up and I felt just amazing inside. Where when I was wearing pajamas, I just was like, ho hum, it's just another day. I had no purpose. So I encourage you, take care of yourself and remember that you are valuable, you are worthy, you are enough. You need to be confident. You need to set yourself up for success every single day. No matter what day it is, if it's Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, you need to set yourself up for success. Get yourself dressed during the day. Don't wear pajamas. And make sure that everybody around you knows how confident you are. Because when that happens, you won't have to worry about them walking all over you, taking advantage of you, feeling like you're not worthy or valuable. There's several people I've talked to who are just like, nobody at work values me. I don't feel valuable. I don't even feel like I'm part of the team. They're trying to get rid of me. Well, maybe you need to take a look and see how you're presenting yourself. If you're not very confident, they're not going to be very confident in you. And when you're an entrepreneur, you have to show confidence. You're the authority, you're the expert. So if you're giving off a vibe that you're not very confident, people are not going to want to work with you. I tell you, ever since I started doing my pajama talks with Nikki and doing my podcast, and I'm all over the place, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you are so successful." All the while, the majority of the time, I made $0. They didn't even know how much money I was making, like 0. I made 0. But it was the perception because I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing all these things. I'm present. I'm confident. They're thinking I'm successful because that's what I'm displaying. Like, I know I'm succeeding and they're reading my vibe. So you see how that works? It's not that I'm faking it. I'm just being me. I'm doing all these things because in the end, consistency is king. Whatever you do on a consistent basis, that's going to predict your future. So all these positive things that I was doing on a consistent basis, that's why my business is booming. That's why I'm doing so well all around, is because I did all these things. I'm doing all these things. I continue to do all these things. And I'm confident. And I now value myself where before I didn't. I struggled. And there were years when I felt like, "Oh my gosh, is this going to be my life for this is going to be like my career, my everyday for the rest of my life?" Ugh. I'm like, I don't want that. But I wasn't doing anything to change it. And I'll be honest, when I go back into my old habits of things, I can feel a difference. If I go back to watching, like, I haven't watched TV in probably 6 months. And recently, I'll tell you a secret. Recently, I've been staying up late and just kind of vegging out because I'm so exhausted and putting on my trash TV that I used to watch. And I can tell a difference. So I'm no longer allowing myself to do that because I don't want to get back in that rut of where I wasn't being successful. I want to continue to rise. So I'm going to cut that out. Last night, I told myself I'm not doing it. And I started reading my book instead of watching my trashy TV. So remember, whatever you do on a consistent basis, that's going to project your future. And you want to project confidence, value, worthiness. Remember, because you are those things. You're a mom. Come on, the world can't operate without us. So until next time, keep showing up, keep believing in yourself, and remember, you are enough, and you always have been.